Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and for teaching me this 100% truth according to the scriptures. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, the brothers and their very few sisters, and their children who are walking in the truth with all sincerity and meekness, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability, but most importantly of all, believing in the name of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and enduring until the end. Waiting for the return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai to redeem us from the hands of our enemies. Shalom. Lord willing, this lesson is short and edifying unto the flock of Israel, who is the lost sheep of the house of Israel, who is the so-called Black, Spanish, and the Native American man and woman, whether you believe it or you don't, right? This message is only to the hopeful elect, those that believe, man. That's who this message is for. That's who this lesson is for. Those that believe, right? So anyways, I seen this news, this whatever you want to call it, this clip on the news, right? Because everybody knows about how Zelensky came to the White House, and he got into like a argument with the president and the Trump administration, right? And things wasn't looking good, man, right? And it goes to show how proud this devil is, man. Esau. Trump is one proud ass motherfucker, man. Trump is one proud ass dude, man. And that's the same spirit that these Edomites are in, man. Especially so-called America, especially Babylon, the great, right? The great whore. Why? Because, of all the victories it has had over the centuries, right? So anyways, that's what this lesson is about, right? And, Lord willing, this edify, man, it's to show, man, that the European nations, man, are getting together, man. They're going to turn on the whore. They're gonna turn on so-called America, man. They're gonna turn on her, man. They're getting tired of the whore's demands, right? They're getting tired of the whore's attitude, right? And pride and proudness, man. And this looks good for Putin, right? Now, let me say this too, man. I'm neither for Putin. I'm not for no Russia. I'm not for no America. I'm not for no Israelis. I'm not for Palestinian people. I could give a shit about the other nations, man. The only nation I'm for and the hopeful elect is the nation of Israel. That's it. The kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, of who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. That's who I'm with. That's whose side I'm on. I ain't on nobody's side of the world. And the real men of the Lord, the hopeful elect, starting with the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and the brothers on down, they're in that same mindset, man. We are for Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let me say that first and foremost, because people will think that, we're picking sides of one of these nations, which we're not. We could give a shit. They could all kill themselves, basically. But it's to point out how these other nations are going to turn their backs on so-called America. And I've had this conversation with a couple of people. Obviously, they're not in the truth, and they don't understand what's going on, right? They're like, nah, man, ain't nothing going to happen. Yeah, thinking like, because I remember I had a conversation with somebody. I'm a barber, so I have conversations with a lot of people. A lot of them are my clients, right? They don't really know what I'm about. Some might, like most, the people at my job do. Like the other barbers, they kind of know a little bit, but not my clients. My clients really don't know. But, anyway, I was having a conversation with one of my clients, and he was like, nah, man, Zelensky not going to join Putin. I'm like, I don't know, man. The way things look, he might. So anyway, I'm going to play this clip right here. This came out.
World leaders gathered in London Sunday for a summit to discuss the future.
You tell me what it looks like.
World leaders gathered in London Sunday for a summit to discuss the future.
Mind you, this is for fair use, man. This is for fair use. I'm not promoting. I'm not using it
of
to make any
Ukraine's
money.
war with Russia.
It's just for fair use,
3
man,
years
to
into the bloody conflict,
point
leaders
out,
at a
and make a
roundtable
lesson.
discussion
That's all.
told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky he would have their continued support. The warm welcome in Europe stood in contrast to U.S. President Donald Trump's heated exchange with Zelensky in the Oval Office during his visit last week. Ukraine's president was there to sign a rare earth mineral deal with the U.S., but things took a turn in front of news cameras.
But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing.
Trump's top diplomat.
But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. Trump's top diplomat.
And that's the spirit Esau is, man. Fuck you, pay me. You should be grateful I'm backing your ass up, right? Because throughout the century, throughout the generations, man, when America was built, man, America has become a great and mighty nation, man. It has. You can't deny that. So they are filled with pride. They are filled with ego, right? They think nothing can happen to them, right? But the Lord is about to turn things around, man. The Lord is drastically and slowly changing the turn of events, right? He's changing the position of powers and everything, man. You know, and it's just like, for example, like a boxer. Like, we could go to Mike Tyson, man. Mike Tyson, at one point, he thought he was unbeatable, right? Because of so many wins, man. It's just like that saying, and I love that saying, man. Bane told Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. He said, "Oh, victory was your ally, man." Or victory was your downfall, some shit like that. He said, basically, you got comfortable, man, of all the defeats you got. You just grew, you know, you got comfortable. You grew bolder. You thought nothing else could happen to you. You became lazy. You became arrogant, right? And that's the spirit so-called America is under, man. That's the spirit that these Edomites are under. He's saying, like, oh, look, you signed a deal or we're out. You know, and look, basically, and it looks like your chances without us is zero. But if you have us in your corner, you'll be all right, you know? And that's how they get a lot of
the
nations
president's
to fall
position
under
Sunday
their,
that Zelensky
fall under
risks
them, man.
World War III
They
by
provide the
continuing
help.
to fight.
Military
Adding an end
power.
to this war comes through mediation and not on the battlefield.
I'm saying it's 0% likely if we don't get them to a negotiating table. And the sooner everyone grows up around here and figures out that this is a bad war that's heading in a bad direction with death and destruction and all kinds of dangers surrounding it that could.
Yeah, man. And it's going straight to World War III, man. Not death and destruction only for Ukraine, you know, but ultimately to the U.S., man. Because the U.S. is going to, listen, it's called a world war for a reason. All the nations are going to war. That's why. So, obviously, it's not a good thing, man. You know, and the way things are, man, America's not that mighty superpower anymore. You know, other nations have ICBM missiles. Other nations have great military devices, right? Technology. You know, things are not going to go good, man. Things are going to... now, you know, now you could use a cyber war, right? Cyber attacks, knock out power grids. And that's how bad it's going to get. You know, straight destruction, man. Death and destruction. That's what's coming. Let me grab that real quick, man. Revelations chapter 11, verse 14, it says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly," man. Go into that word woe. A quick Google look up. It's destruction, man. Trouble. Misery, sorrow, distress, heartache, heartbreak, adversity, trouble. You know, affliction, adversity, calamity, misfortune. Nothing good, basically, right? Does war bring that? No, man. War does not bring that. Does war bring the opposite of that? No. War brings destruction, man. It brings agony. It brings calamity. Not just those in war, but those that live in the states too. Those that live in those countries, right? Because all this money is gonna go to fund the wars. Remember that? Remember the Second World War? Since the men were gone, that's when they needed women to work. Because there was no men to go to work. So this doesn't just affect those that are on the front lines. This affects the nations within. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Spiral into a broader conflict. The sooner people grow up and realize that, I think the more progress we're going to be able to make.
Meanwhile,
That's unstoppable.
Ukrainian soldiers severely wounded and with amputated body parts returned to combat. They joined what Zelensky describes as 380,000 Ukrainians wounded in the war. Democrats in the United States Congress say this is the wrong time to abandon an ally.
The soldiers that I just saw last weekend from Ukraine who were getting medical help with hook arms, trying to stand up for the Ukrainian national anthem with one leg. You know, this is not the time for us to undermine these. The Ukrainian national anthem with one leg. You know, this is not the time for us to undermine.
And personally, man, this is just me as a man speaking. I mean, everybody knows that Trump, basically, the U.S. Look, they want agreements with Russia, man. They want agreements with Russia. You could tell Trump looks up to Putin, man. You could tell. U.S. wants agreements with Russia, right? But another part don't. The other half don't, right? Because of the war it's in with Ukraine now, right? And I think personally, Putin is going to use this to show Zelensky, like, look, man, you by yourself at the end of the day, because Ukraine belongs to Russia at the end of the day. That's their, listen, they want to take over, that's their problem. But America wants to sign that deal because like you just heard earlier, there's a rare mineral over there in Ukraine, a rare mineral that the U.S. wants. So they want to sign a deal. They want to, okay, well, we're going to take that, but we will help you with the war. Which ultimately, I think, obviously that's all parts of America's too, man. They create the problem to give you the solution, right? Everything's backed in together, which at the end of the day, it's the elite, the wicked elite who have control of the earth, right? The Rothschilds, the Soros, the Bergen, I think they call Bergenfields, whatever, those people, right? Those people, man. They're the ones that control the earth. They're the ones that control the money. They control the resources. They're the ones playing chess, man. They're the ones making the moves behind the closed curtains, man. Behind the scenes. And it's all to fulfill their plan, man. To create a one world order, one world government. Peace, so to say. And I personally think Putin is going to basically use that to show Zelensky. And I personally think Zelensky's going to just go ahead and fall under Putin, man. That's what I think is going to happen.
Brave Ukrainians.
I think that's what I really
population
think is I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Brave Ukrainians.
And as the wounded population of
Because obviously you can see Ukrainians not winning that war, man. For them to send back amputees back to war, shit is crazy. Shit is crazy, man. And that's going to happen over here too, man. Watch, man. Get ready, man. Because once all the nations go to war and America's in, guess what's coming? Once they're short of men and women, because women too. Women now can join the army. Women are in the army. So that doesn't exempt women from shit. Because not that long ago, they signed a bill where now they can draft women also, not just the men. Right? And a lot of these younger generations, man, they're going to go to war and die over there, man. That's what's coming.
Ukraine grows, so too do calls for peace talks.
We have to give peace a chance. We have to give, to create the circumstances in which enough pressure is brought on Putin, on Russia, to bring them, to coax them, to force them to the negotiating table. But if it goes wrong, we must be there on Ukraine's side.
For the Ukrainian soldiers, some badly injured, still staffing the front lines, a peace deal may not come soon enough. Arash Erbasadi, VOA News.
Front lines, a peace deal may not come soon enough. Arash Erbasadi, VOA News.
All right. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore," man, "and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire," man. You see, these other nations are going to get together, man. They're going to get together. Which is the Europeans, man. Them. NATO, whatever you want to call it, the EU, the United Europe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? The Esau's kingdom, the so-called white man, right? The so-called Europeans, they're going to get together and turn on America. They're going to get together and turn on her, man. I'm going to read this again. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast," which those horns represent kingdoms, man, "which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire," man. And these things are gonna happen, man. A lot of you are gonna start believing, man. A lot of you, the Lord is gonna force a lot of you to start believing in His word, man. You might not believe in it now, but sooner than later, you're going to start seeing that what the prophets have been saying all this time, starting with Abba Bivens and the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, man, starting with the elder apostle Tahar, elder apostle Gabar, elder apostle Aram Yamlab, Shalakia, if I'm saying it wrong, right? And the elders on down, man. Been saying it all along, man, for over 30 years. And a lot of you Israelites are going to start seeing the truth. But some of you still not going to believe, because y'all just meant for destruction. Y'all just going to chalk it up to, yeah, but it's meant to happen. It's like people right now, I don't even want to get into that other subject. But anyways, Exodus chapter 15, verse 3, "The Lord is a man of war," man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is a man of war, man. He's behind this too at the end of the day. He's the one that controls the nations. He's the one that puts spirits on people to make decisions and go with their plans, man. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is his name. And if you go into that word Lord, if you go back into the root word of it, into the Hebrew, man, the name is Yahweh. Right? That's his name. And he is a man of war. What you think is going to happen when he sends his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ? War, man. Because you see, everybody's up for grabs right now. Everybody's trying to fight over the power of the earth. But they're not going to get it. Russia, China, they're not going to get that power. Why? Because the next kingdom that's coming is the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Jacob, the nation of Israel. That's the next kingdom to rule. And we know this and we believe this through the scriptures, man. Because the scriptures say. This is the only book we need to read, man. And the only book we need to take heed to and believe in. Why? Because it's the word of the living God. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and he's behind all this, man. At the end of the day. And I can't wait to see the fall of this fucking devil, man. I can't wait to see the fall of this nation, man. I can't wait to see the fall of everything, especially so-called America, man. Why? Because for one, that shows us that what the Bible, man, that just builds us more in faith. It shows that the Bible is truth, man. It shows that the Lord is coming, right? He's on his way. The more prophecies, the more that prophecies fulfill, the more we believe, and the more we believe we're getting closer and closer to the return of our King, man, Yahweh Shai. So why would we not be excited, man? These are exciting times, man. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that has joy of his children, man. Doesn't a man love his children? Man, I love my children. They bring tears to me, man, when they do little things. You know, I love my children. They bring joy to me, especially, you know, when they're in that stage of good, man. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Oh, love your enemies. That doesn't sound like love your enemies, you see? But that's because, you know, you don't understand the scriptures, man. That's speaking of the enemy within our people, man. Because our people are also our enemy. You know who is? Those that don't believe. The 2/3. They are our enemies, man. But anyway, this one is speaking of the other nations, man. This is speaking of the other nations. This is particularly in today's time, the so-called white man. Esau, Edom. Right? And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And Lord willing, I'm alive to see the fall of this place, man. Lord willing, I'm alive to see the fall of all the enemies, man, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, I'll be a part of that number, of that remnant, of the hopeful elect, to see salvation and meet the Lord up in the sky, man, in his chariot, and receive a new body, man. Lord willing, I hope I'll be a part of that, and I hope you brothers that are out here teaching his truth and that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai sincerity, man. I hope you brothers make it too, man, and you few sisters and your children. I hope, you know, but I hope I also see the fall of this fucking place, man. For all the wickedness